All right, welcome to the call today. Let's talk marketing. We're going to be talking, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to SCORE. I'll tell you who I am. We're going to be talking about ChatGPT for about 30 minutes. We're going to mainly be talking about questions, prompts, and roles, and then anything you want to ask after that. Take any questions from anybody about marketing at all. So let's talk about SCORE. SCORE is part of the Small Business Administration. And what we do is through SCORE, we are a nonprofit organization, part of the Small Business Administration. We mentor businesses and for no cost. There's 11,000 volunteers in the United States that mentor businesses from all over the country. And you can get some help in any topic you need help with, from finance to marketing to AI. There's people that have done it before and are willing to help. So today's call, I wanted to talk about SCORE.org is our national website. And then if you wanted to go to Green Bay, Fox Cities, or Madison, you just put a hyphen at the end and then put Green Bay, Fox Cities, or Madison. We also have a newsletter that sends out that has a lot of different information in it and new seminars that we're going to be doing. So that's how you request a seminar. Go on the bottom of the page and you'll see that to sign up for the newsletter and to request a mentor. So a little bit about me. Top Hat Marketing. I also own a company called VIP Follow-Up. It's a CRM program, customer relation management program. I'm a focused business coach. I have 41 years of sales, marketing, and business experience, and I've also sold 5 companies. So enough about me. Let's talk about ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is the fastest growing business ever in downloads or users. ChatGPT got to 1 million users in 5 days. He launched November 30th, if I'm not mistaken. It was the last day of November. And in 5 days, there were over 1 million users on the website. You can see the other companies in here. Instagram was the second one with 2.5 months instead of 5 days. 100 million users. Zoom's number got to 100 million users in 2 months. The next fastest one was TikTok in 9 months. And you can see Instagram was 30 months. So it's the fastest growing by far in history, not even close. So ChatGPT, and where is it and how do you sign up? On the bottom left corner here is where the website is. It's called chat.openai.com. This is actually part of Google, and Google is putting millions and millions of dollars into this program. And I think it's 7 years, they put a lot of information in here. So how do you use this? And ChatGPT is like the fuel for sales and marketing. Oxygen is the prompts, heat is the questions. You want to ask more than one question at a time. There's a thing in sales that if you ask at least 3 questions. So I always want to ask more than at least 3 questions or more prompts or questions into the ChatGPT to get more information and to get it more down. I'm going to give you some prompts and different things you can use to get it better. One thing I'm going to do quick is talk to you about. So everything before ChatGPT, if you get the free version, it's 2021 and before. That's what the free version does. And so if you search things, it's not going to bring up stuff from 2022 or 23. If you want the up-to-date information, you can go to Pro version. It's $20 a month. It's worth it. They got 3.5 and 4.0. I just heard this the other day. I was listening to a seminar. 4.0 is 8 times smarter than the 3.5. So even though it's a small thing, it's very, very much more. The free version is what I use myself. So that's what I just told you, the ChatGPT. And you can add on an extension with it to update it to get the internet. So you can update it to now, even if it's a free version. And this is where you go with webchatgpt.app. You go on there and there's this little button, you click on it, and I'll show you the button when we go to ChatGPT, and I'll show you there's a little button you can turn on and off. The one thing with the button is sometimes it doesn't answer questions. So sometimes I keep it on, sometimes I turn it off, depends on the questions I'm asking it. And again, remember, you can ask me any questions or anything you have a question on as we go along, please ask it right away. So I also took this prompt right here. I will give you a question or an instruction. Your objective is to answer my question or fulfill. I'm sorry. Your objective is to answer my question or fulfill my instructions. My question is, or instruction is. So you put this in the ChatGPT before you start, and then it will ask, it'll put that in there every time you go to use it. And I'll demonstrate that when we get to that on ChatGPT. So why would you want to do ChatGPT? It rates your emails. It does sales. It does sales scripts. It does blogs, video scripts, websites, advertising content. I've done postcards. You can do articles, presentations, marketing and business plans, social media posts, and website and advertising content. So it can do a lot of things for you. That's just a few things in a business world. Prompts. So what you want to do when you start this thing is act as if you are, I always put it, act as if I'm an expert copywriter, or ask as if I'm an expert marketing expert. Act as if you're a researcher, blogger, influencer. So bloggers or influencers you'd want to put in for maybe your blogging or your Instagram or things like that as an influencer. Even a sales manager, and we'll be talking more about how you can use it for a sales manager position. He can be your sales manager and give you help with your sales. So it comes down to prompts. I'm going to give you a quick example here. So a prompt would be, as a medical professional, the question would be, explain rheumatoid arthritis to a 5th grader. So sometimes I put 5th grader or 7th grader, put something in there so it makes it simple and easy language. Otherwise it may, especially if you ask it's a medical professional. So there's a question, a prompt, and then there's a question. So here's some questions that I just wrote down that make it just kind of give you some ideas of some questions that the better questions you ask, the better answers you get. It's kind of a thing I learned from Tony Robbins. So look at some questions that we could ask. What's the most effective strategy for attracting and generating high quality leads for whatever type of business you're in, for a sales organization or I'm a retail business. How can I optimize my online presence to reach a larger audience and increase potential leads for my whatever service you have? Number 3, what are some successful lead magnet ideas that can help me grow my email list and convert subscribers into paid clients or whatever you want in there? Number 4, how can I leverage social media and network platforms to engage my target audience and encourage them to explore my blank offerings, whatever you're offering them or whatever you're trying to sell them? And then the last question, what are best practices for using paid advertising content marketing to drive more leads and sales to my business? So just to ask the questions, think of them. What would be good questions for you? I'll give you a couple more here. If you're in the sales industry, tell me if you want to look at a company. Let's say we're going to make some cold calls and we want to look at some, or we have our top 5, 10 companies that we're looking for. You could say, tell me about the, I'm trying to think of an industry. Tell me about the restaurant industry or hospitality industry. Who are the major players in this industry? What are the biggest challenges facing that industry? Once it says the major players in the industry, you could pick one of them companies and then say, tell me more about this company, learn more. You could ask it who the decision makers are, what are their titles that you should ask for, what are some challenges facing that industry, and what would be a great elevator pitch for that industry. You can just keep asking it questions and it will keep digging down and going in there. You can also use emotional words, adding emotion. So as a prompt, you can say add emotional words using frustrated, overwhelmed, stuck. Some of these are some of the emotional words that you could add on to your sales letter, in your scripts or any of your other things. Just asking it, you can actually tell it to put it in there after it writes it. You could say add the words using frustration after the first sentence or in the first sentence, or add overwhelm at the end of the email. So you can do that. So just a couple of personal or a couple of different things here. And then we're going to go on there and do some demonstrations. I'm going to show you some things, but I'm going to go through this. So ChatGPT outputs are created from scratch. So they're actually not copyrighted. If you and me start with the same thing and we ask different questions, we're going to come out with totally different things. So they're not copyrighted from anywhere and are 100% unique. So you could actually ask questions like, put this into a table, add humor like Chris Rock or Steve Martin, You can have it write letters like Tony Robbins or Warren Buffett. Or if you're familiar with the DISC assessment and you know a certain personality of that person you're trying to get a hold of, you could actually ask it to write it into that personality, write it to a D personality and using the DISC assessment. But never blindly trust the output of the language. Just verify it. I always read through it. Sometimes I change and put some words of my own in there just to make it better or make it unique. Sometimes you can tell it's written by that. Sometimes you can't. I just wrote a letter to my health company that I work with, and I wrote a letter and then I put it in there and told it to optimize this letter. So that's one of the things you can just say is you can write it up on your own and then put it in there and say, optimize this for me to send it to a whatever industry or who you're looking to send it to. So I actually use it a few times in the last week just to optimize things that I was looking at. If it ever gets stuck on you, and it does do that, it's only done it to me a couple times, but if it does get stuck, just don't waste your time and arguing with it. Just start a new chat, just delete it and go back and push a new chat. I'll show you that when we get to that part. Here's a couple things also you can do is act as a role, put your role in there. I'd like to, whatever feature you're trying to do so that the party that you're trying to get a hold of, whatever it is, can benefit. So an example would be act as if you're my sales manager. I would like to get more leads so that my sales team can make more profits. So that would be like a prompt that I could put into that. And I'm going to show you some examples. You can actually use ChatGPT also for role playing. So role playing questions can be, as a sales trainer, role play with me a scenario to sell marketing consulting. And then another question I could ask it is, what objections will I get and how do I overcome them? I already put these in here so I can go to ChatGPT and show you the answers. So we'll kind of do that. Just a quick bonus I want to talk to you about is if you don't know it, if you're looking for AI and you want some help from it, if you're looking what programs are all out there, there's so many. I have a list of over 60 different AI tools. So if you'd like that, you could just throw me an email and I will send that to you. And I'll get you that email at the end of the presentation here. But this one gives you this one here, Future Tools AI or IO is actually, you put in what you're looking for and it will tell you what AI program will do that. So and I just want to tell you the next SCORE presentation I'm doing on Let's Talk Marketing is July 11th. There's 3 low-cost ways to make more profits in your business without spending, actually most of them are you don't even spend a penny. So let me go to ChatGPT here. Show you some of the examples in there. So I gotta exit this. Wait, come on. All right. So let's go to ChatGPT here. I got it up on the screen here. And just to kind of explain this, you can actually, here's where you start new chats, or you just go down here. This is that access I told you about. If you turn that on, it goes to the web. It updates it to 2023 up to date today. If you leave it there, it's going to stay on 21. Sometimes I actually use it on and sometimes I turn it off. If it doesn't answer your questions you're trying to do it, I usually turn it off because it's trying to look at different things. So it will actually do different things with it on or off. And then if you see on the left side here, it actually puts everything you ask about, it will put in here and saves it so you can go back to that thing. And if you look through here, you can see I have a whole bunch of different companies and things I've asked it questions on. So you can see there's all kinds of things. And then when I want to ask questions about this thing, I can actually just go back into that that chat that I've used already and the system knows the questions on what I've been asking. So you can see I got, probably 50, 100, 50, 75 different ones on here. I use this a lot with clients. So let me show you some examples. And actually, so for example, I'm putting more leads, more profits. If I want to share that, there's a share button here. If I want to edit this or I want to delete it, if you don't like it, if it doesn't do it, I actually come up here. I may copy a couple things. If it doesn't answer the questions like I wanted, I'll just copy the ones I like, and then I'll delete the one I have and start a new chat and copy and paste it into there. But you can actually share this with somebody. If you click on this button here, it'll pop up and it will let you share it with, you just put somebody's email in here and it will share it with them. So here's, let me show you how I started this out. So act as if you're the sales manager and would like more leads. So I told you that role that we played. So here's the role, here's the feature, here's the benefit of that, and who it's looking for. So as a sales manager, I understand the importance of generating leads. So define your target market, content marketing strategy, search engine optimization, pay-per-clicks, social media marketing, email marketing. You see it goes in here, and then it also will give you partnerships, tracking leads and analysis, sales and marketing alignment. And it actually, a lot of times it will, if it comes up with something, this one didn't do that, but it will give you, let me show you another one, marketing, consulting sales. So we go back up to the top. As a sales trainer role, with me a scenario to sell marketing consultants. So this is that role play I was telling you about. So it's actually doing a role play with me as a trainer, and I'm the consultant, and it's telling me, you can read through here. Good morning, thank you for joining this role play. And it starts asking me questions and tells me how I should answer that. And it keeps going through here as a potential client and consultant. So it's role playing along through this scenario. And then I said, what objections will I get to overcome these? So it starts telling me the objections. We can't afford marketing consulting right now. Gives you a response. Understand budget restraints are a concern for any business. However, investing in marketing consulting services can provide a significant return on investment by helping you attract more clients and increase revenue. My approach is to work within your budget and develop a tailored solution that maximizes your marketing efforts while being mindful of your financial resources. We can explore flexible payment options or focus on specific areas of your marketing strategies that will provide the greatest impact within your budget. There's another objection. I'm not going to read every one of these, but you can just kind of see we have an in-house marketing team. A response to that, we're not sure if consulting services will deliver results. What do I say back to that? We're hesitant to resource such a critical function of our business. So you can see it's telling you all the top responses and how to do that. Here's that one I told you, rheumatoid arthritis. It actually gives you, and a lot of times it will put you, especially when the web is on, it will actually give you these references so you can actually click on them and go look at the references and read the articles on it to dig down deeper. You can see all the information in here. Just explaining as a fifth grader, it tells me all the references and etc. And then it goes all the way down to here. So a lot of it's kind of fluffy stuff that you want to read, but then here's the answer. So it gives you a couple response. And then what I did is in here, just to kind of show you, here's the instruction I gave it. I will give you a question or instruction. Your objective is to answer my question or fulfill my instruction. My question or instruction is, as a medical professional, so I'm putting in, as if you're a medical professional, what are natural ways to reduce pain and inflammation? Then it comes down and gives you the references, goes down to the bottom. After that, you're going to see here's their answers. As a medical professional, here are several ways: essential oils, herbal remedies, anti-inflammatory diets, regular exercise, and stress management. Now, if I ask that question on Google, they're not going to put natural products in here. They're probably going to say, see a doctor. Then I put it in here again, disregard the information. Then I asked another question. My question is, what are 3 top anti-inflammatory diet foods that I can add to my diet or meals? And it gives you the references again. comes down, and top 3 inflammation foods are berries, fish, fatty fish foods, and broccoli. So it gave me the top 3 things, and it has resources to check them out. So here's another one. Here's my instructions to it. My question is, as a marketing expert, tell me how I can, and actually I spelled wrong, grow my bed and breakfast business. I was working with this lady yesterday. So I actually put, I wasn't paying attention, put group in there instead of grow. And ChatGPT still knew what I was asking it. Went down here. The bottom gives you reference as a marketing expert, and it's actually find your niche, collaborate with local organizations, create creative packages, leverage social media engagements. So it's telling me, I gave it another instructions, write me some blogs, 2 blog posts. So it actually wrote a couple blogs in here. Why stay at a bed and breakfast. Here's blog 1. And then it gave me this, see, blog 2, it started writing and stopped for some reason. So I could actually write blog 2 if I wanted to. So I asked it as an influencer. So now I changed the role as an influencer. Write me a post for Facebook posting for using search engine optimization. Now, if I wanted to do this, I could add emotional words. Emotional words have people feel your message. So here's their stuff right here. If I wanted to, like I said, then I could ask it. Then another question I asked it is to using this information, write 2 blog posts for social media. Now, if I don't like that, I could say shorten this, write it as if Tony Robbins was writing it, put some humor in it like Chris Rock would write. So I can keep asking it questions, and it's going to keep making it better. A tip I found out is if you copy and paste this, let's say you're going to decide you want to do this blog post. Here's another one I put down as a copywriting expert, put a blog post. So it wrote down directions. I asked it to give me 3 headlines using social media. So it gave me a couple headlines here. So I'll give you a quick, I'll show you one quick thing here. If I want to copy and paste this to use it into a document, I'm going to go to my words here. You actually, so I hope my screen shared. Anybody see that the screen shared? Or anybody let me know if it switch? I'm gonna keep going. So what I do is, what you do is you highlight this, that because it prints out and has a box. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a box around the content. So if you push no spacing, it actually takes that all away. And if you notice in this thing, it actually put the emoji kind of things and all different things right into the document, so you can copy and paste that in the document. So. All right. Give you another example here. This one here, I started out, you can see my prompt here. So act as if you're a marketing expert sending an email to and invite potential clients for a online workshop. Are you using artificial intelligence yet? So I put in this, that I wrote this up, and then I actually did all this, come back down here. And then it wrote this for me, which was, I'm going to say it was 5-10 times better than mine. It gave me this, and I actually use this to send this out to people. But you can see what it did. So.
Hey, Bob, on what you're doing right now, when you copy and paste, you notice how there's a gray background in the sheets. And I think on all the different programs, you can actually take that out by just reform or unformatting, which is a little eraser and the little brush sign. And then you'll take that and undo the format, and then you can format it to your whatever letter or size of the document that you want, or the size of the font and the style of font.
Okay. Did you see what I did on the sheet, or did it change over when you saw that? When I brought you up to here? Did it switch over screens? Because what I do is I copy and paste it into a Word, and then I just I highlight it and then push no spacing, and it takes everything away.
Got it.
So this is a blog post that it did, and I took it away so you can see that there's nothing in here. The one thing it does do is it, obviously I'm not going to put ChatGPT in there. I'm going to take that pop part off, but you have to put your spaces back in here like this. You know, so that's what it does. I don't know. I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, but are you talking this? No, the pencil.
Yes, the pencil and eraser that's on the to get rid of the formatting. It'll actually take that dark shadow out of your letter if you're just pasting it in an email. Otherwise, it's going to actually show up as a gray background in your email.
That's what I do. Is I take it into Word, and then I just highlight it and click no space, and it takes it away. So I actually used to retype it. I used to do as dictator and redo the whole document. And I found out I could do this. So this kind of a way I found out that takes me 10 seconds to take all that off, and but then I have to go back in and put the spacing in like this that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, but that's
and you won't have to do that if you use the eraser and pencil on the form, and just taking the format out. It'll make it a lot easier for you.
Okay. And maybe why don't you explain it? Maybe I can screen share it. We can have this on the call. So let me go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yeah. So if you highlight that, and then you can even just take part of it, Control C, so copy. Okay, and then go to an email, just a blank email. Okay, and then paste it. Control V. Okay, see how you got a gray background in there?
Yep.
Okay, so if you highlight that whole thing that you just pasted in there. Okay, and I got to find where your format. And I don't see where your format is on here. Right here's your format. Yeah, I think that no, it's in search signature. It should be a little eraser that you have on the top of your. Why don't you right click and see if you can get rid of your format.
You use Google?
No, and I'm just using in my Outlook and in all my programs. I have on my top menu bar. I can get rid of the formatting of what I pasted in there. And it might be all the way to your right. What is that? Remove formatting. Hit that button, and it takes that gray right out for you.
Oh, so okay. So this button here.
Yeah. Yours is a little different on your computer than mine, but same concept. You remove the formatting, which will remove the gray behind it.
Yeah,
if you leave it in there, your customer will see that gray, and if they know anything about AI, they know that you ran it through the chat program.
Yep, that's why I take it in the Word, but this is fast. Okay. So good tip. You can see how I just did that.
And now it's all gone. Yeah,
it's all gone. So
and then you can put any kind of format what you want, whatever your Sanskrit or serif, or if you want to go Verdana or whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself and
good tip. Anybody else have any questions or would like to add anything to this? So, okay. Well, I'm gonna, that's all I put together. I kind of went through it kind of fast. So if nobody has questions,
I will like to say something on this, Bob, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I use this on a daily basis, this program, just even if I'm writing a letter to a friend, or anything, even if you're out looking for jobs or anything like that, you put this in the chat, and it does really professionalize your letter, and it makes a 100% difference and clarity wise to the reader. This is a great program.
I just use it for a resume.
Yeah.
It made it 10 times better than I could have made it.
I had the same situation. I just helped somebody for that.
Yeah. So here's some quotes that I had done for, well, I'm not going to use that. That's one of my clients. This is actually my landing page for a window company. So I asked about how would I use a landing page in a window company. So here's the instructions again. Your objective is answering my questions, fulfill it. My question is, as a marketing expert, create a landing page using the following. So I put this in here, and then I asked it to use that. So as a marketing expert, here's what it did. Are you confused with all the choices for replacement windows? So it gave me a header on the top of the website or landing page, gave me some content inside of it, call to action, click here to use the buyer's guide. Then I asked it here again, what pictures would an expert use? Bring emotional feelings of a worried couple. So that was just kind of a test to see what it would do. It just showed me here's some shots that I could have or pictures I could look for, or have a graphic designer get for me on how I could bring that emotion out of using a picture, and it's telling me what kind of pictures to use, and it actually has references that I can go look at. See. So this is really, I like this thing, for a free version, you can actually upgrade it just with that. That's worth probably being on the call today. Here you can upgrade obviously to Plus. If you go to Plus, it's going to cost you $20 a month. I feel it'd still be worth it. Let's see. I do for some personal stuff in there. I was trying to explain Wim Hof breathing that I do to a friend of mine. So I actually asked ChatGPT to explain it and make it simple. I actually just had what did I do? Chrome store. Oh, here's that Chrome extension that I told you about. That's all you have to do is click on it, and it'll upload it so you can have that feature. I don't even know how I just did that. Oh, that was something I hit.
Bob, your web access, you got that from the Chrome extension?
Yep. So it updates it, and that's the free version. And I'll just go back and show you that email again. Let's see here.
I have a quick question. That web access, it will actually look at up-to-date information. Is that what it's doing?
Yep. So if you don't have that extension on, the free version only goes up to 2021. If you put that extension on there and it doesn't cost you anything, it goes up to till today. So we'll upgrade it to, great. And you don't pay, so you pay the pay version, or you can do the free one with that extension. And like I said, sometimes it won't answer my question with it on, so I'll turn it off. So sometimes I turn it on, sometimes I turn it off during the same questions in the same chat. So
okay.
So sometimes if it doesn't answer your question, just turn it off and then ask the question again. Then 95% chance it answers the question. But it does update it, so it's a nice extension. So let me find that. I want to find that so I can show you guys that one. Okay, where did it go? Oh, here it is. It's right here. Web chatgpt.app. So if you go on here, if I click on here, I'll just copy and paste this, and we'll show you how it worked. My screen switched so you guys can see that. So I would just get it on Chrome or whatever browser you use. If you click on it, it goes on there automatically. You don't even have to do anything, just click on it. And then you can see here it is right here. So,
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. That's nice.
yeah, so there it is again, just if you want to write it, if you didn't write it down there, you can write that down. It does make it, like I said, it's good. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So you turn it on and off as you see, and you're trying it out.